Hello. At this point, you should have set up your Lightroom account on each of your individual computers. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and open Lightroom, and yours should look something like this. It may look a little different depending on the version that we currently have. But what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to show you how to import your photos that you have been saving on your desktop, and then just some really quick basic edits just to get you guys started. As the year goes on, we will go into each of those editing features a little bit more in depth. But for now, what you're looking for is either an import button or this plus sign up here at the top left. So I'm going to click on that. And what I'm going to do is find my pictures here. So I'm going to, and again, yours will look different because I'm on a Mac and you are all on a PC. So the gist is find your desktop and then find that folder that you created. And then to select all the photos inside of that folder, okay? I could just click right here and then not worry about that and just go to review for import. And that would be fine. And then here are all those photos opening up. And what I could do at this point is I could deselect them all. Okay, so now that blue check mark is now gone simply by clicking on that checkbox up here. Or I can go through and individually check them to pick the ones that I want. Like maybe I have two that are a little similar to each other. So I might go in here and just kind of start clicking on the ones I would like to do. This is a great place to decide on, I would say like between 5 and 7 pictures that you want to choose to do. Okay, so choose your photos, and then wherever it says add right here, you're going to add those photos. And you're going to give it a second because it's going to bring them all in. I'm going to click over here on imports. Give it a second. You can see it up here in the top right that it is actually doing something. So it kind of has like the little blue spinny wheel letting you know that it is currently working in the background trying to get all of my photos in here. Okay, so give that a second longer. All right, let's just go ahead, and it's taking longer than I was expecting it to. I'm going to go ahead and just use double click. Oh, there's one of them. So let's say this is one of my pictures right here. What I can do is over here on the right, I have some of my editing tools. To start, I'm going to use my crop tool. Okay, that's this one right here. And I always like to start with that. Now, possibly it's in there sideways. If one of your photos is, you can click on this button right here, and you can kind of change the way, you know, maybe your crop marquee is, and maybe you want to rotate that, okay, depending. But once I have that in here, I can come in and I can adjust the size however I would like. Okay, I can also, if I move my arrow, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it turns into a curvier, so I can also rotate it, right? So maybe the lines aren't completely straight, like some of the horizontal or vertical lines, and I'd like to make them a little bit more kind of straight up and down or straight across the middle here. I can also, you know, move the picture within my crop. You know, maybe I want it to be slightly different than I already have it. Okay. Right here, you can flip the actual picture itself. Okay, so there's that. You can, you know, use this little toggle right here, this little like slide bar, I guess you could call it, and you can, you know, do it that way if you don't want to do it by hand. Maybe you have, you know, that you have a steadier hand doing it that way. However you end up deciding to crop it, just press enter or return when you're done, and it will go back to, it'll basically crop off the areas that you don't want. Okay. Okay. Next step that we are going to do is here is the edit feature. So that's this top one up here. Okay. And inside of that, you have all these choices and things that you can basically do. And for this, what I would like us to do is we can change We can make it color, which it already is, or we can make it monochrome, and you don't even have to really click on it for it to show you exactly what you're going to get. Perhaps I want to make it black and white, and then I can come in here and I can manipulate the exposure. Okay, this is something we'll be talking a lot about next week actually, but maybe I want to make it just slightly darker. I can increase or decrease the contrast in here. Okay, so an increased contrast means that the blacks will be darker and the whites will be brighter. Decreased contrast means it will be a little bit more on the gray side of things. Increasing the highlights, decreasing the highlights, brightening the shadows, darkening the shadows, brightening the whites, darkening or graying the whites, making the blacks brighter, making them darker. Okay, so as you can see, there are a whole lot of things that you can basically do with this. If I decided, you know, maybe I wanted to come back in here and make it go back to color, you know, I could change the color temperature. I can also add sort of like almost like a filter over it, where I can change the overall tint of the color of the photo. Vibrance has to do with kind of the intensity of the color. Okay, so you can see what's happening here. Saturation kind of does a lot of the same, but saturation could bring it all the way to grayscale as well. Under effects here, I might want to do something with vignetting. As you can see what's happening there, it's kind of bringing in, like if I go one way, it adds like a white vignette, so you can see that kind of in the corners. Over here going the other way, it adds more of like a darkening effect to the corners. Okay, so these are just some things that you can play with. Go ahead, I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. What I would like from all of you is to edit anywhere between 5 and 7 photos. I would like you to crop every single one that you turn in. I would like you to turn in several black and white photos and several color photos. As far as the actual number, I'm going to leave that up to you, because some photos look better in black and white and some photos look better in color. So you decide how you want to do that. This assignment is for experimenting and really playing with these tools right here. Okay. So once you have them how you like it, at that point you will be needing to export what you have here. Okay, so you do have different things over in this area, but come on. Okay, so when you are ready to export, there are a couple of ways of finding this, but it's just up here at the right. Go to export. You want to export one photo. It goes through all the settings with you. It's pretty straightforward. The file type you want is going to be JPEG, okay? It gives you a few different ones. Please choose JPEG. That's what Schoology will accept. Dimensions, you can keep them small. Otherwise, you know, the Google Doc that you're going to be putting these on may not load it very well. Keep the quality fairly high. That way we don't see a lot of pixelization. Do not include a watermark at this point. Okay, no watermark. I will be showing you or teaching you about that later on. And then you don't need to worry about anything down here. Go ahead. The file naming should just stay as original. That's fine. You don't need to worry about that. And then you'll just export the one photo. Okay, and it's telling me right now where it's going to go. I actually would prefer for it to go to my desktop, so I'm changing that by just clicking on desktop and then clicking export. Okay, so this photo is done, and then I can move on to my next picture. So to do that, I could go just back to here and see all my photos that are in here. Okay. I believe you can also go into your library and you'll see more of like a menu of pictures right here. Okay, so lots of ways to kind of maneuver around this program. The more you do it, you'll end up figuring out ways that you prefer versus those that you do not. But if you have any questions, please let me know and I will do my best to help you.